Sup guys, this is Phoenix and welcome to Heinkel 115, a plane which has clearly been sabotaged by Gaijin, and soon you will learn why I'm saying that. But okay, let's go everything in order. There will also soon be an announcement regarding future videos, but not in this video, but after this video in a separate, it's called file. But okay. For now, let's go. So, as usual, let's start with weaponry. So we have quite some available to us. First of all, we have a single, we have a single 15mm cannon. Well, I would rather call it a heavy machine gun, but they say it's a cannon, so let's take their word on it. Next, if you see this thing that looks like a toilet bowl, from which a barrel of a gun stands out, the one that is the bottommost, this is that 15mm machine gun, or cannon, whatever gun. Yeah, this is the only one where you can shoot normally, see, like this. By the way, this is, if I remember correctly, the exact same cannon that is present on some BF-109 versions. Aside from this, we do not have any other offensive armament. However, we have turrets and payload. So for turrets, there are actually a few interesting ones. Well, first of all, as you can see, we have one behind the pilot and another in front of the pilot with this guy who's kneeling down. Then it must be uncomfortable. Yeah, so if I remember correctly, those are low caliber machine guns, MG-17 or something. Yeah, so the one in the front can shoot with some... It has quite a nice range of fire. But let's see, it's not really that useful. I mean, when you have enemies in front of you, you will probably use the 15mm gun instead. So yeah, it's a bit redundant maybe. I mean, the AI gunner will shoot, but only when an enemy gets really close, and it will be rather inaccurate. The turret in the rear is more interesting, especially because, as you can see, we have two small additional circles, which will sometimes fire, sometimes not. Well, first of all, the machine gun behind the cockpit has a very broad range of fire again. However, do remember that you cannot fire through the rudder. The machine gun will refuse to fire when you aim it there. But we have something else interesting that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Yeah, we have two machine guns actually installed behind the engines. Honestly, they are crappy and they have very limited range of fire, but they are useful when an enemy is flying exactly behind you, because this is when you cannot fire with the rudder getting in the way. Yeah, so this is pretty interesting design. I think this is one of the few aircraft in the game that actually have it, but I wouldn't say it's particularly effective. I haven't ever shot down an enemy with it, from what I remember. Actually, let me see if I have any kills against planes on this thing. Let's see, HE. There it is. Alright, so I do have 6 air targets killed, but I'm not sure if I have killed any with those two guns. Next, we have payload, which is located in the bomb bay. So currently I have torpedo in here, because I'm not sure if I will ever have an opportunity to show you guys. So for the torpedo, you want to come as slow as possible and aim your plane at the target. Remember that the torpedo isn't particularly fast, so moving ships can dodge it. Yeah, and when you get close, I mean, the closer you get... Yeah, see? The torpedo. Lord, it didn't even sink that cargo ship. What the hell is that crap? So anyway, as I was saying, with torpedoes, the closer you get, the more accurate it will be, but the more vulnerable you will be in return when facing enemy guns. This is especially an issue in naval battles when players are controlling vessels. It isn't that much of an issue when facing AI-controlled ships. Each torpedo has some kind of... Actually, let's jump to a hangar quickly and see. Each torpedo has some kind of restriction on altitude and speed. Yeah, so this particular torpedo cannot be dropped if you go faster than 300 km per hour, but just happens to be your max speed. So just don't go over your max speed and there won't be an issue. However, as you can see, you have to firstly drop it when you're flying less than 120 meters. That would be something like close to 400 feet. Yeah, I think 360, 80, something like that. And secondly, you have to drop this torpedo at least 50 meters away from enemy vessel so that the warhead of the torpedo has time to arm. And you might have seen back then as well that the torpedo will only go for 3 kilometers before it, well, I don't know, malfunctions or something. Maybe it runs out of fuel at that point. That would be a good explanation. Yes, I have no idea why this cargo ship can take a torpedo easily. We'll see if I get a nice map without much waiting, then I will show you some torpedo action against some AI vessels. Aside from the torpedo, you can also carry bombs, so you can carry 1 or 2 250 kilogram bombs or one 500 kilo bomb. I think you can also carry several lighter bombs, like 4 100 kilo bombs, something like that. Nothing really special, but not that bad for 1.3 that this plane was. I think it was. Yeah, so those bombs, however, will also be here in the bomb bay, which is problematic, honestly, for ground RB. So basically the same rules that I have mentioned in my Dornier 17 video apply. However, if you do hit properly, there won't be an issue. Also, one more thing that I have to address is the sabotage part. Honestly, this thing has a broken bomb sight. Well, I will talk about it more in ARB section, because I can't show you it now without bombs on board. Alright, gotta calm down a bit. And I'll try again. Yeah, as you can see, I'm going a bit too fast. Alright, now it's safe. By the way, torpedoes also have their own camera, sorry, just like bombs. Yeah, now it worked. No clue why I didn't the first time. Yeah, so that's pretty much it regarding the armament. Honestly, one of the main reasons why I wanted to make a video about this plane was the torpedo. I've never shown you how it works on any plane, so this is a good opportunity. Next, let's talk about survivability. So if I remember correctly, this plane has some armor. We'll revisit it later. Well, overall this plane isn't that bad, but you have only one pilot. It's pretty slow, so losing one engine will hurt a bit. And well, its large size is about the only good thing for its survivability. But still, you will find yourself in trouble every now and then. Also, just like with the BV-138, we do not have landing gear in the traditional sense, so it's difficult to land on Earth. It is possible, but it's difficult a bit. You can easily crash. Anyway, that's pretty much it regarding survivability, or so I would say, if not for rip speeds. Yeah, so 480 km per hour is the rip speeds of wings, and 350 is the rip speed of gear. Well, floaters, more like it, or whatever they are called. Next, let's talk about speed. So honestly, this thing is pretty low. Pretty slow. As I said earlier, the maximum speed is 300 km per hour, which you can reach at altitude, I think, 1 kilometer. So this plane is really slow, doesn't really accelerate that well, as you can see here. But it's better if we use WEP. Speaking of it, at least this plane does have it. But going beyond 300 km per hour, actually even going close to 300 km per hour will be troublesome. Alright, let's try out the start speed right now. I have to check it out. Come on. Alright, the start speed is actually not that bad. I think it's somewhere around 125 km per hour, maybe 130. But that was without flaps. Now let's deploy the landing flaps. And let's see. Are they done deploying? Come on. Alright, now they are. So let's see again. Now do mind that we have a torpedo. So the plane's a bit heavier than normal. Okay, so the start speed with the landing flaps deployed is more like 120 km per hour. Next. For energy retention, honestly, it's not that bad for a plane this size, but overall it's crap. It's pretty easy to bleed speed. I mean, it's not that horrible as you can see, but then again, the turn in the first place is crap, so there's that. For climb rate, honestly, it's just bad. Well, just check this out. Climbing at 10 degrees and this plane is completely spaded with WEP, and we are barely increasing altitude at such a low speed. Yeah, it's just meh. Next, manual engine controls. Well, let me see. So we have no auto propeller pitch control, no supercharger control, no turbocharger control, no mixture, no all. Okay, we have normal water radiator control and propeller pitch. Okay, so at least the propeller pitch doesn't cause the engines to die easily at high values, but yeah, it's nothing really great. I mean, it does increase the power of engines somewhat at least. Alright. Okay, let's dump my torpedo just for kicks. Yeah, as you can see, the fuel, the minimum fuel is quite ample, so you will never worry about it running out unless you get your tanks popped. So that's pretty much it about the speed. Now let's talk about... right. I forgot to mention the engine performance regarding different altitudes. Well, honestly, this plane is very bad at this. It's very slow at high altitudes. Actually, it only has a pitiful max altitude of 6 kilometers, which is like 2-3 kilometers worse than Heinkel He-115. Right, now that's what we are talking about, and not some random misfire water. Yeah, so the max altitude is crap, and the best speed you can get at 1 kilometer, so I think that should amply show just how bad this plane is at flying fast at high altitudes. It's really a low altitude plane. I mean, it was supposed to be a patrol maritime plane. Maybe it was supposed to destroy some submarines or something, pretty much it. Yeah, so let's talk about agility. So first of all, the roll is egregious, as you can see, utter garbage. The turn is not much worse, I mean not much better. It's a bit better than previously, now that we don't have a torpedo in the bomb bay, but let's see. It actually didn't seem to have changed much after the torpedo reloaded. Yeah, but still it's very weak. Alright, let's dump this torpedo. We don't need it right now. The rudder, as you can see, is somewhat strong but sluggish. Let's see. Yeah, but if you want to correct your aim in the horizontal axis, then it will be problematic, just like with the Dornier Night Fighter version. The aim seems to go kind of like this. So yeah, only in the horizontal plane will it be not an issue. Next, let's talk about the flaps. So we have all kind of flaps available. Those flaps do improve your turn significantly, especially the landing flaps, but they also bleed your speed somewhat. Actually, not that bad. Alright, now let's see. To be frank, I have no clue just what kind of speed will ruin the flaps. Well, ThunderWiki doesn't have it at all. Alright, let's dump the torpedo that I don't want, I don't need. Interesting, so it does explode like a bomb. Maybe I should check it out in grounder before kicks later. Alright, I'm not sure, but combat flaps will not break so quick. Actually, maybe none of your flaps will break that easy. Okay, let's climb just a bit while I talk about other things that we'll see again. Yeah, so I wouldn't really bother talking about changes in agility compared to altitude, because again, this is a low altitude plane. There's not much point in talking about this. There are no extra features, and I wouldn't. Well, I mean, there are no extra features regarding agility, and there are no extra features in general either. Alright, let's dump that torpedo. Bye bye. Let's deploy flaps and we'll dive down once the flaps fully deploy. Alright, pretty much time. Let's see if we get a warning. I think we can get to 300 km per hour. Okay, so landing flaps. Okay, I know more or less by now. So landing flaps will break at somewhere around 240 to 250 km per hour. Takeoff flaps just a bit beyond your maximum speed, and combat flaps are definitely going to be a bit better than takeoff flaps. So it's not that bad. Okay, now let's take a look at that armor and then go into battle. Yeah, so we do have some armor. So the gunner here has some, and there's some armor here, which is, honestly, I don't know. Yeah, it's behind the pilot. Yeah, so if someone is on your tail and takes down the gunner, the pilot is likely to, at least somewhat likely to stay alive. Well, his shoulders and the head aren't really protected, so it depends on the angle a lot. Right, so see you in the next part. Alright guys, here we are. One correction I have to make, which is that we have two 250 kilo bombs and not just one. So it depends on the version, but some other versions of Heinkel had some interesting changes. So for example, B1 version could carry 5 such bombs, or 2 and a torpedo, so we are really getting nerfed here. Let me see. G5, H3, G5. Alright, so I guess that this one wasn't marked, but the Dornier is probably going for it. Alright, we'll see if I'll have an opportunity to bomb something or not. For now, let's tentatively go in that direction. Maybe I'll engage the bombers. Right, another thing is that you have to upgrade your turret belt if possible, because the one that is the default one is really garbage. It's better with this one, and this one actually can have some interesting anti-armor belt with 50mm of penetration, which however unfortunately doesn't really deal much damage. Alright, let's go pick a fight with that SB2M. And meanwhile, let's start talking about history. So, those guys together... Nope. Just format up randomly. Yeah, so this plane was ordered in 1935 with several competing companies, including that Hamburg something that designed BV-138, as I mentioned in that other video. Come on. Okay, let's go below his belly. Alright. This thing is so sluggish. Alright. Alright, the turret and the gun shooting together. Alright, gotcha. Yeah, so as you can see, this plane can play an unexpected role. Yeah, so back to the history. It was designed in 1935 for a competition for a seaplane, which competition Heinkel indeed won. And the prototype first flew in 1937. And the first combat use that I know of was to lay mines in the British Channel, or at least somewhere nearby England. And those guys wild in. Okay, let's see, are there any bases? Okay, let's go drop some bombs. I will show you how garbage the bomb site is. And then I will engage the bombers or maybe some fighters, we'll see. Anyway, as I was saying, so laying mines somewhere near UK in the North Sea or in the English Channel was one of its first combat uses. Which is interesting because we don't have mines here in War Thunder on this plane, but whatever. Maybe it was in another version. Next, this plane was used during invasion of Norway for one, but also was first and foremost used to attack Allied convoys going to Arctic. Is that guy chasing me? Nope. It's just close. Yeah, so the Allied convoys that went through Arctic to Russia, to Arkhangelsk and Murmansk, were attacked by Germans. And this plane, Heinkel 115, was used a lot for that role, with quite some effect, but well, it started being problematic when escort carriers were introduced to, as the name suggests, escort the convoys. Aside from that, Heinkel 115 also played quite some role in dropping spies behind enemy lines. Okay, I will show you now. So we have two options, either this or this. Let's see which actually hits. I will aim for the same place, which is that building there. Alright, now we are looking at the second bomb. The first one I dropped using the central aiming critical, let's call it so, and the other one was dropped using the floating one. Alright, first of all, as you can see, I aimed it here, but it's going in some random direction. Alright, I think the first one, the second one was relatively on point, the floating one, but the central one, which is supposedly accurate, is actually not. So do remember this when you use this as a bomber. It's just wrong, it's sabotaged. Seriously. Yeah, so aside from Germany, which is... Alright, let me first mention that there are, I think, somewhere around 130 or 140 products. And aside from Germany, there were several other users. So first of all, Norway ordered, I think, 12 of them before the war, but only 6 were delivered before the war started. Okay, let's go take that Nimrod on. I still have almost half of my cannon ammo left. So again, only half were delivered, and Norway lost some of them early on, but also... Alright, gotcha. He's on fire, but he also dealt with some serious damage to my engines. I guess it was because I was messing around too much with the pilot view thing. Alright, let's see if I can kill some enemies before this plane dies with its engines broken and so on. Yeah, so as I was saying, Norway used them and they actually managed to take over some German Heinkel He-115. It was even some random ragtag militia and police that managed to take over the German hydroplanes. Ooh, there's the Hamden. Okay, let's try to get him. I think I'll have to roll for this one. Come on. Whoa. Just don't die. Ah, okay, so the gear rip speed was a goddamn lie. It's not ripping. Come on. Come on. What? I ran out of ammo. Shit. Alright. I suppose that's enough. Alright, why not show some turret? Okay, this... Okay, my turrets are dead, never mind then. Yeah, so... see you again in the next battle. But okay, let's see how long it takes those guys to finish me off. This will be a nice show of durability of this plane or lack of its durability. Well, thanks for getting rid of those heavy things, I guess. As you can see, it takes quite a while for the biplanes to mob this thing. Come on. Yeah, so the Norwegian planes, they played some role during battle for Narvik, however they pronounce it. Yeah, I think Narvik, but it was pretty much it. Okay, so see you in another battle. Alright guys, here we go again. Spawning again on the airfield, more like over, so that I can have a bit of time to talk. Honestly, I don't know what's up, but I keep getting desert maps, and it's even the same damn map time and again with a goddamn hydroplane. Is Gaijin playing pranks on me or what? I don't know. But anyway, gonna show you the 500 kilo bomb in ground pound crawl this time. Okay, but let's continue the previous talk. So as I said, Norway had a few of those, and when Norway lost, those planes tried to escape. One of them failed and was captured by Germans. One of them, I think, crashed. One of them escaped to Finland, where it had, I think it had a bit of a crash landing there, but it wasn't too bad because the Finns repaired it and pressed it into service, and it ran some clandestine missions against Soviets once Finland was at war with the USSR. And remaining 4 Heinkels from Norway were flown to UK, with one of them crashing on the way in the North Sea. And they were pressed into English service and used, or at least were supposed to be used for some flights over Norway. But it was called off in the end, and then they were used for some random tasks, and including some intelligence missions in Africa. But they didn't fare too well. Some were shot down by Germans and some were shot down in friendly fire incidents. Aside from those countries, Sweden also used Heinkel's 115 under the name T2. You can see them in the Swedish tech tree right at the top. Not too many of them. Apparently they played a large role in maintaining Swedish neutrality, which sounds quite pompous, but okay, maybe they did play a role. Let's not be so skeptical. And aside from that, it was also Spain that used those Heinkels for some reason, but can't tell you much about it because I have no clue. Right, I don't see any pillboxes, which is a bit not that fun because they would be the best targets. But okay, let's dump it on some, yeah, on a tank surrounded with AAs or something. Alright, as you can see, I'm not even using the bombing sight. Ooh, nice. I'm not even bothering with the bombing sight because of how broken it is. Okay, now let's try to engage that guy. Yeah, so that was pretty much it regarding history. Now let's talk about RB and its meta. So first of all, despite being a hydroplane, you are not going to see C-maps that much. Come on, come on, come on! Yeah, second of all, it's very difficult to aim accurately with this cannon. It's very difficult to make corrections when an enemy is firing at you head on. Now some turret time. So yeah, do take this into account that this plane, you can take fighters off guard with it, but directly taking down planes like fighters is not really going to be possible, I'm afraid. As you can see now. Alright, I still have a bit more to say, so next time I will ambush enemy fighters from above. Alright guys, here we go again. First thing that I want you to know, by the way, is that you shouldn't bomb tanks from this altitude, and now I will show you why. See the floater, the supposed place where the bombs will go? Well, I aim it now at the first light tank and you will see where it actually will fall. And by the way, I'll engage fighters as soon as that bomb falls down. Yeah, so you can see those light tanks here. Something flying here. Yeah, see, what it actually hit was nothing. It fell behind the AAs. Fortunately, the bomb was strong enough to actually destroy two of them, but that's it. Alright, now let's cut my throttle and sneak up on this dev water. This guy's way too agile, so I have probably only one chance. And while at it, it's important to note that I didn't bother talking about the way agility of this plane that I'm flying changes with speed because of how low speed plane it is. But when you are going around, and especially above 400 km per hour, it starts to appear both obvious and important. Namely, it will just be apparent that your control surfaces will lock up a lot. Alright, this guy, I won't be able to get him, but maybe this one. Yes, that guy is flying too fast. Yeah, so... where's the devote? Okay, that. Oh my goodness, okay, first of all, yeah, see how sluggish it is. But okay, I was supposed to talk about the meta. So for bomber altitude there isn't much problem. There are going to be only several planes that will be an issue for you, such as VF 156 if I remember correctly. They have it on their team, I've seen it earlier on, but so much for attacking that fighter. Let's see, VF, yeah, VF 156. That one is considerable problem because it's agile, hard to aim for. This plane is generally hard when it comes to making corrections with the rudder to its aim, as you can see as I'm wobbling. We'll see, maybe it will be more apparent when I try to hit that Avenger flying there. Yeah, so as you saw right now, diving down on fighters isn't really anything that is likely to guarantee a kill. It's more likely that the fighters will dodge and then they will go around in some turn and turn the tables on you. Yeah, so that's the meta, basically. You will do okay at bomber altitude, but when you fly down, then you will be in the enemy's home ground. It will be quite tricky. What? That's actually the airfielder. Yeah, that guy's not even trying to hide that he's gonna camp the airfield. Okay, let's screw off for now. Not like I have much to say anyway anymore about RRB. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about down tiers. For up tiers, you won't really have much of anything else. Stupid AA. It hit me right as I was flying out of its range. Yes, as I said, in up tiers the situation won't change much. You'll still be screwed pretty much. It will just be that there will be probably more dangerous bombers that get bomber spawn, like that Avenger, for example, or some Helldiver or something. Helldiver probably has a relatively high BR, so it won't necessarily be the one. Yeah, while at it, let's attack some ground targets, some light tanks and shit. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You can try to engage fighters with this plane, but honestly I do not recommend it. It's quite difficult and unlikely to end successfully. Yeah, see, even ground targets I have troubles adjusting my aim for. This is junk when it comes to the frontal armament, honestly. Okay, those guys are up there. Ooh, D500, that's problematic. Alright, let's fly towards that 109 and then we'll see. Next, so the advice tactics is honestly to just stick to bomber altitude. You can also fly low and torpedo a vessel if you find one, but honestly, probably 9 out of 10 maps will not have any vessels. I have just flown like 7 maps in a row, and there was not a single one with naval targets. Alright, this guy is going for me, and one of my engines coughing. Oh, this guy's not... yeah, he's not cool as he's energy trapping me, now that I'm doing stupid shit like this. What? It's not even trying to attack me? Why? Alright, let's wait for him to come here behind me and treat him to some turret fire. A bit closer, my dear sir. Alright, this should do. Yeah, so overall in RRB this isn't really that good of a plane. It's not bad either. It's decent in a bomber role, but you don't really want to fly low with it. Come on. Alright. Whoa. Okay, that's officially my first kill with the engine guns fire. Yeah, those two in the wings firing backwards. It seems like they are working a bit like a shotgun. Yeah, so again, you can fly against fighters with it, but I just do not recommend it. It's unlikely to end well. Alright, so let's quickly engage whatever thing is coming there. Suppose it's that Avenger. And that will be good because I'll be able to show you how inaccurate that cannon is. Oh, we have both gunner persons down, which is problematic, but we'll see. No, it's not going to take long. Anyway, I think it's coming for me. Yeah, so I wouldn't really recommend taking this plane in RB. Well, we can compare it a bit with the PV-138 because they are right next to each other. But generally speaking... Alright, it's not run out of ammo. BV is a much better gunship, has much better defensive armament, while this one is a better bomber while having relatively weak defense armament. Alright, this guy didn't dodge at all, so I managed to get him. And he was the last guy. Alright, so see you guys in ground RB this time. Alright guys, here we go with ground RB. So first of all, we have a very interesting 50mm ammo belt, which has a very high penetration. By the way, this is the same cannon and the same ammo that we have on one of BF-109, some F version, not F4 but something earlier, like F1 maybe, or F2 or 3, whatever. Also we have the heavier bomb option. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty certain actually that I have shown you 250 kilo bombs on Heinkel, so no point in using anything that was already shown in another video. So I will first bomb. Well, I could use this aiming sight for bombers, but I don't really think it's reliable, so I will just drop a bomb from a dive. Yeah, and you'll see those 500 kilo bombs, they are very good for taking down enemies in ground RB. I don't really see any enemies though. I wanted to drop it on the respawn, but there's nothing on the respawn. Okay, just some guy just spawned, but on the other hand, we do have an annoying little bugger. Alright, if you are that thirsty for lead, then let me deploy my rare engine guns or whatever. Yeah, so anyway, I will show you the gun. Despite the high penetration, it isn't all that successful, all that reliable in ground RB. The payload, however, is fully reliable, of course, except for torpedoes. There's no point in using torpedoes against ground targets. I mean, previously I think that they wouldn't explode at all. Now they do explode, but they don't really seem too effective. Alright, this guy is being a bit of a nuisance here. We can give up. Alright, let's see. I'll just fly away from him and see what he does. Because I feel like he's either returning to the airfield or baiting me. Okay, seems like it was the former. So I ended up being quite a distance away, but it's fine. Enemies are still alive. Actually, it seems like they are getting a minor advantage, and it's after I mowed 7 of them while having fun in the fake AA. Alright, so this is also good. We can talk about things now. So again, guns are good at penetrating enemy armor, but aren't good at dealing damage to it, and you will see soon. The bombs are the best. I suggest that you take 2 250 kilo bombs, sorry about that. But you can take the 500 kilo bomb too, especially if you know that the enemies are likely to mob together in some place, like at a capture point. On this map, this usually means the B point. Yeah, so talking about survivability, unfortunately this plane isn't too tough and it's very easy to shoot down. There's a lot of light vehicles with 20mm cannons here, or with heavy machine guns, and they will be easily capable of... Is that an SPA shooting at me? Why is he so far away? Alright, let's ignore him for now. Yeah, so okay, there are some guys camping there, or at least one. Well, okay, one is fine too. Let's bomb that guy. Alright, bombed him. Kaboom. And now it's time to shoot at some... Okay, there's something near A. But let's approach from behind the river. I don't really want to give an easy shot for that SP8 that's spraying and praying. Something flying there, which is not too good. Yeah, so survivability isn't really the best on this plane. It is big, so it's not easy to kill it, but it's pretty much the only good thing about it. It's slow. Because it's heavy, it's easier to hit in the first place. Shit. Didn't see any enemy there. I think they died. The ones that I was going for. And how about that plane? No, that's a bomber, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's just attack that SPA, might as well. That would be pretty suicidal of me, but whatever. Okay, let's attack this guy here in the field. Yeah, so this is how this... Wow, it actually isn't bad. Alright, this other guy on the left is spraying hard. Gotta be careful, do some dodging. Yeah, see, if you get too close to SPAs, there's a high chance that they will grief you. So, I do not really recommend. Well, you should be able to safely drop off your bomb unless you overspeed and crash. Should I try to get this guy? No. I've taken too much damage. It nerfed my handling too much. Let's just take down that SPA. That was constantly picking a fight with me there. Oh, this guy in the plane is interested in having a piece of me. Yeah, but there's one good thing about this 15mm cannon. Ooh, he finally got me. Yeah, so there's one good thing about this cannon, which is that it actually has a good range because of its high penetration. Yeah, so as you can see, it's pretty easy to kill Heinkel 115. It's a big, slow target, so figures. As I said earlier, the armor isn't anything exceptional. They just need to take down one of your engines and you're going to become even slower, even easier to hit, and then it's just a matter of time before your pilot gets taken out, just like that FC-20 took mine out just a moment ago. Yeah, so again, you should be able to safely arrive at the battlefield and toss down your bombs, but you will probably at most be only able to take down 1 or 2 ground targets with your cannon before you get shot down instead. Well, if there are no SPAs and no enemy planes, but you need to be really lucky to encounter such a situation, then you should be able to survive longer, maybe even long enough to spend all your ammo, which is not that hard because it has a low count. And maybe you will be able to return to base. Well, the landing might be difficult, but I think it is possible. It will probably resemble a crash landing more. Yeah, so I wouldn't really recommend taking it much higher in BR, in Ground or B. As you see, I took it to 2.0. But at 3.0 or so, it's probably going to get wrecked. Even harder. Like the first rank, optionally the second rank. Well, okay, let's just say rank 1 is where you want to stay with this Heinkel. Afterwards, just take something better like Stukas or Heinkel 129, which is heavy and clumsy, but better than this. Has a better gun too, or better guns, depending on the version. Yeah, so overall you can take this into Ground or B and it will actually surprise you with how effective it is compared to things like BV-138, but surprise is all you will get. And if you get too cocky, then you will get shot down very fast because it's not stellar. However, if you do take it into Ground or B, then try to maintain your speed and avoid turning around and slowing down above the battlefield itself where tanks are. And try to fly low and of course constantly be on the lookout for enemy planes, and whenever you see SPA of the enemy team, or actually any SPA at all, shooting into the sky anywhere, then you should investigate it and plan accordingly. Because if there's an SPA, then you don't really want to get closer than 1.5 kilometer away from it. That would be like 5,000 feet, I think. Yeah, so regarding the economy, as you can see, the research reward is nothing special. The SL reward is actually 50%. As you can see, I have a booster that was running out on, because why not? And well, It's nothing really great. Stukas in general seem to have a better modifier actually of either kind. But at least it's better than this one, right? Or this one. Actually it's the same. No, it's still better than Dornier. So nothing really special. As for the repair cost, as you can see, it's cheap, but rank 1 is always cheap. Yeah, so is it worth your time? I would say, well, not really. I mean, if you want to use it as an interim bomber before you unlock Heinkel 111, or if you skipped this part initially, or if you want to skip those planes and go with those, then you can use this to unlock some planes at rank 1, but I wouldn't really bother otherwise. I mean, it is better than Dornier, more or less. It has better payload because you have a better bomb and somewhat better characteristics in some aspects and a better gun. I mean, this one has some pea shooter. So it has some advantages over Dornier, but otherwise that's pretty much it. Also, it is better definitely for ground RB than this one. This one is, however, better for air RB. So yeah, it really depends on what kind of goals you have when you want to unlock a bomber, whether you are going to focus on air RB or ground RB, or if you want to focus on both, then you probably would want something like, well, honestly, hard to tell in the German tree. Maybe Messerschmitt 410, not this one, but this one. He's a pretty versatile fighter that can be used both, actually, pretty versatile attacker that can be used both as a bomber in RRB. As you can see, it has quite a decent payload, and both in as well as in ground RB. Actually, does this one? No, this one used to sit together with this one, so I got confused. Yeah, in theory you can take something like Heinkel 111 or Focke-Wulf 200 to ground RB, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Yeah, so regarding unlocking modifications, well, it really depends on what you want to do, but I suppose that payload will be your first priority, and the second, depending on what you want, will be either engine upgrades or 15mm cannon upgrades. This upgrade is fairly important if you play a lot in RRB, because the default belt for the turrets is utter garbage. Don't use it any longer than you have to. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. Oh, no, okay. I have mentioned it already. Yeah, so thank you for watching and see you in shorter videos from now on.